Welcome back, everyone, to the second episode of Witness TV's In Focus on the crisis at the Msunduzi Crematorium. Recently, we spoke to a grieving family whose loved one's cremation was delayed by an hour due to there being no gas at the crematorium. And for our second episode, we are going to be speaking to a priest, Kiran Satgur, who's going to be explaining the importance of a timeous cremation and the impact that the delays have on the family. Later, we will be joined by two members of the Midlands Hindu Society who will be telling us about their relationship with the crematorium over the years. They are going to tell us about their contribution and calling for the crematorium to be handed back to organizations who can assist with the running of the crematorium for the community. We are speaking with priest Kiran Satgur, who is going to explain the importance of timeous cremations in the Hindu community. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Pandit Kiran Satgur from the Hindu community, and it's quite an important opportunity that you've given us during this time, and I would like to share a few viewpoints in terms of the cremation process. So when we look at death, we regard time, which is considered very sacred, because death is seen as a transition rather than an end, because the physical body, as we know from our scriptural references, is a temporary. It's only here for a specific period on this earth. But the soul or the Atma that we talk about, that when it departs, the physical body is no longer there. And so the soul moves on according to its own spiritual and value-based lifestyle and the karmic lifestyle that one led. So, but we then look at the physical body that needs to be disposed of in a very dignified manner. Yes. And so for us, time, because it goes back to the elements plays a key role for us. And so for us, we say that the soul leaving the body is a transition from this physical world and going up into the supernatural. Having the cremation done timeously, it has various impacts on our families. Secondly, the soul is on its journey. The physical body cannot be stored for a long time. We believe that it must go back to the elements as soon as possible. So traditionally, within 24 hours, that the soul may be, the physical body was cremated and disposed of. The ashes were done, disposed of, and then we then did the necessary post-cremation rituals for the comfort of the family and the fact that we know that the soul has now passed on. So for us, it is very important that that the cremation has to be done as soon as possible. Yeah.
And in terms of spirituality, what is said about the journey of the soul after death? And how does delaying a cremation affect this process?
Well, we have different belief patterns. There's the old traditional pattern, belief patterns, and then we have the more modernistic approach, and that is from the Vedic viewpoint. But when one looks at even the ancient belief patterns, it is imperative that we have certain rites and rituals that are performed, because it is, it brings comfort firstly to the family. And then we are praying for the soul that has left and it's on its own journey. But the fact is that if you have a lingering time frame, it does bring a lot of pain and suffering. So we as believers in terms of the Hindu faith, we feel that these prayers need to be done according to scriptural references and timeously, so that the people that are in a grieving process are more comfortable and accepting. And also we believe that the Atma or the soul that's on its journey, then we are praying for it to be in a better place.
Now, in terms of, and I'm sure you've heard of these instances where cremations are delayed, or there was an instance where a family, the cremation process had already started, and then they had to remove and wait and so forth. What is the experience for the family and the trauma that is placed on families?
I think that would be with every family. If there's a, like if there is a situation where your priest has done the last rites, which we call the antiesti, where we have dedicated the physical body to go back to the five elements, and then we are ready and we have accepted by doing the last prayer, the Shanti, the peace prayer, and we are now offering the body and interning the body into the cremator. You're sort of bringing some sort of finality to that, and then you accept that you are now, the next step is that you've got to come and collect the physical ashes that's left.
Yes.
And then you do the last prayer for that when you immerse that into water. So it's a very traumatic time if you are told that the cremator has broken down and the physical remains that is in the cremator is not fully cremated. It is very traumatic. It's painful. Families start becoming disturbed. How are we going to do this? Where we are going to take the balance of the remains? And it hasn't happened to me, neither has it happened to my immediate family, but I've heard of a situation where the physical body that was half cremated had to be contained and then taken to another crematorium. So it's very traumatic. It's a painful experience, and it's just not right. It's not right. It shouldn't. It's not accepted. Yeah.
As a priest, as a leader in society, what would you say to the municipality and those that are responsible for the smooth running of the crematorium? What would you say to them, and what do they need to address to ensure that families are not affected by such incidents in future?
Well, for a number of years now, we've been having a debate and a dialogue with the municipality over the management of the crematoria, and also for the service that to be provided to the community, specifically the Hindu community, who I think the majority that do cremations. But we also recognize that there are other religious faiths, and they also do cremation. So they are also put in a similar situation as us, where the majority do the cremations. And we urge the authorities to recognize that the Hindu community and those that cremate, it is not just a physical necessity, but it's a deeply sacred religious rite that we do. That's what we perform. And delays affect both the spiritual journey of this departed soul and the emotional well-being of the family. I mean, when you have a grieving family, where they have family that are coming from afar, and knowing that their dear loved one has passed on, they've made all necessary arrangements to come and be part of the grieving process. And then we are told that our machinery is not working, the cremators are not working. And then you have to start looking at alternative venues. Then you got to travel from where you lived, your residence, and then move to 100 kilometers or 50 or 80 kilometers away. That adds all to the trauma and the negativity of the moment. All we want is the emotional well-being of the family to be in a comfortable state, and ensuring timely access to the cremations facilities is a matter. And this is an important point, that the municipality and the authorities or the powers that be, they should actually be respecting the religious freedom, right? The religious freedom and cultural dignity of all races, all faiths, and it's enshrined in our constitution. However, we seem to hit a blank wall with the Pietermaritzburg municipality. They have got one after so much of debate, and it is functional, but not to its peak. Yet we have other cremators in that same area. There's two others that need to be refurbished. I must admit that the Hindu Trust and many others, the Midlands Hindu Society over the years, with the Hindu Dharma Trust, they have engaged with legal aspects. They've engaged with dialogue with the municipality. However, it is very sad because when you look at the Indian community, they're one of the loyal ratepayers. They pay the utility bills timeously. They are defaulters, but we cannot, we have that in all communities. But traditionally, the Indian community has always been people or supporters of paying their contribution to the coffers of the municipality. And we expect a service delivery that should be given to us. And not only that, from a political point of view, from the charter, from the constitution, they should respect our human rights and our dignity, what we as Hindus require in this country.
Very strong points there, Kiran. We also, prior to this, we were speaking about the role of the Ved Dharam Sabha, and who were once entrusted with the Mountain Rise Crematorium. Can you tell us a bit about how the running of the crematorium was then, and what's it like now, and how this has changed over the years?
I would say that the Sabha is a 116-year-old organization in the country, and especially in Pietermaritzburg, it's one of the oldest Hindu organizations, and we follow a Vedic path. But besides us being one of the oldest, there are many other institutions that our sister organizations that are equally as old as us. And we've all contributed as the Hindu community for, you could say, a century and more towards the cremation process in Pietermaritzburg. The first cremation or the cremators that were built, first it was done on an outside pyre, and thereafter it was then brought in to be done with, in a cremator. But the maintenance of those buildings, the management of those, the processes were run at one stage by the Sabha. We had a crematorium committee, which was linked to the funeral parlors in Pietermaritzburg that managed the cremation processes. So the bookings, the management, the maintenance, all that was being done by the Vedram Sabha for many years. However, Pietermaritzburg being a smaller community at that time, it was manageable. And then as it grew and grew and grew, the cost elements and then the requirements and the needs obviously changed over a period of time. But this was pre-94 when a decision was made to because it was not owned, it was leased. It was then to hand back the crematoria back to the municipality, who were willing, and an arrangement was made, an agreement was made, and the Parks and Estates Department of the municipality took over the management of the crematoria that we have currently. Unfortunately, one cannot say, what caused the downfall of the crematorium, because it was also bringing in an income to the municipality coffers. But there again, it was providing a service to a community. And I say that very emphatically. We have a right, and it was a right that we were expected, and it was given to us. It's amazing, that people, we bring a person to be cremated with dignity. We, from our side, provide that dignified service. We provide the prayers. We provide all the necessary to give that send-off. Unfortunately, you go into a dirty crematoria. It's not clean. And I'm being honest, I'm saying it. There was a time when even the roof was leaking and big holes were there, but I see they patched it up now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. No, Kiran,
it's not something I laugh about.
Yes.
But, it's just that it's so frustrating.
Yes.
When you compare taking a physical body to, say, another crematorium, and I won't use names for commercial purposes, But there's in Durban, it is run with so much of professionalism. You go to Midway to Durban, Caterridge, it's clean, it's professional.
Yes.
And when you come here,
It's the state that is in. It's a sad state of affairs.
well, so that's the situation we are placed in. And, we just hope. I'm not a politician, I'm a priest, and I'm fighting like every other Hindu or any other person that believes in cremation, that the municipality needs to recognize our needs and provide us with a service.
With that being said, do you feel that the crematorium should be handed to the community to run and be taken care of for the best interest of the community?
We've had this debate and we've had this discussion not once but many times in different forums, and I think with the community in Pietermaritzburg, they are. I think it would be very successful. The reason being is that financially, we got people that would love to donate towards the maintenance and the building of another crematoria. We have people that are willing to volunteer their services. It could be run on proper business lines, and we have people that have got the experience that are willing to come forth. And obviously, if we have a property that is made available, I can safely say that a crematoria will be built in a very short space of time and would be built to accommodate the modern needs of our for that service and community. It would actually be a better situation.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, you're welcome.
Joining me today are two members of the Midlands Hindu Society. Naresh Amichand, he is an executive member of the Midlands Hindu Society and an executive member of the Msunduzi Crematorium and Cemeteries Concerned Citizens Committee, as well as Prega Naidu, who is also an executive member of the Midlands Hindu Society. It's lovely to have you guys in studio today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shani.
Can you please introduce yourselves and tell us a bit more about the role that you play in the Midlands Hindu Society?
My name is Naresh Amichand. I'm an executive member of the Midlands Hindu Society, as well as a executive member of the Msunduzi Crematorium and Cemeteries Concerned Citizens Committee. We play an active role in both these organizations, and Prega will tell you a little bit more about how much of activity and work that he has done in the organization.
Prega?
I'm Prega Naidu, executive member of Midlands Hindu Society, and also the chairperson of the subcommittee of the crematorium. We've got a subcommittee, it's the crematorium that we deal with, and there's a long issue with the crematorium. We're still having issues with the municipality trying to solve the issues that's ongoing at the crematorium.
So for the listeners who may not know, can you explain why the Mountain Rise Crematorium is so important to the community of Pietermaritzburg, as well as the Hindu community of Pietermaritzburg?
Shani, a crematorium holds a great importance in the Hindu community as it provides a sacred and dignified space for performing of the last rites, paying respects to the deceased, and continuing traditional practices.
So when it comes to, the religious practices and obviously the time allocation, and with delays experienced at the Mountain Rise Crematorium during a cremation, what kind of problems have you and members of the community experienced there?
Okay, the first issue is the breakdown of the machines. Either there's no parts or they don't stock certain parts when the machine breaks. The other issue is when there's load shedding, there's no power to the crematorium, and that affects the opening of the doors. So that's when the doors jam, they can't open it. And a few incidents where the body was actually stuck inside, they couldn't open the door. They have to sort of manually open it and found that the body is half bent. And which is really discomforting for the family that's present there. But normally when you do a cremation, your last rites, the family is present there till the ashes are ready. And the other major issue of gas being supplied. We always get issues that municipalities don't have enough funds to purchase the gas. Recently, we had one of the funeral homes that actually purchased the gas to actually have the cremation done. So really disheartening because we have taxpayers that paying the rates, paying the dues, but we're not getting any help from the municipality. And then also where you get cars that are being damaged, or it's not maintained. But a big issue here is maintaining those crematoriums, the machines. That's a major issue.
Just to add to that, we have two crematoriums. They are referred to as Crem 1 and Crem 2. Crem 1 is at the entrance of the crematorium, and that's the one that has been repaired recently with the municipality as such. But we've received so many complaints from the community regarding both the Crem 1 and Crem 2. Crem 1 had to be totally revamped because it was totally vandalized. And because the committee itself deals with the crematorium itself, we also have huge problems with community members reporting to us that they cannot find their loved ones' graves, the grave sites as well. The grass is overgrown. They cannot find the sites where it is. And some of the plaques or granite tops that they put on there have been stolen and vandalized. So these are issues that the community phones and brings to our attention as well. And we have mentioned these issues to the municipality of concern to our community.
Now, as a committee, how does it make you feel when you have family members coming in and saying, look, I can't find my family member's grave, I can't find the headstone or the plot that was allotted to us? And also, when you say vandalized, what exactly went on at Crematorium?
When I say vandalized, I'm actually meaning that vagrants or unknown persons of unknown origin come and break the granite stones. We don't know for what reason whatsoever. Whether they are, some of them were actually missing. They were actually stolen from sites as well. And we have to relate this to community services. And we've been dealing very closely. We've adopted the attitude of working with the municipality in trying to resolve these issues. The issues that we first brought up when we first started worked pretty well, where we had monthly meetings with senior management as well. And they used to meet with us at the crematorium, and we managed to get so many issues sorted out. But since then, the maintenance has deteriorated completely.
When did this working relationship stop, as you say?
I can't give you a precise date, but over the years, as management has replaced the new senior management from community services, with new people coming in as well, we had to start the whole process again of renegotiating with them and telling them these are the concerns of the community and they're valid concerns, which we had to urgently provide attention to. And the municipality did come on board at certain times as well, but they have not done so until of recent. It's become a huge catastrophe in our community.
From our side, we also send them a minute requesting a meeting with the municipality for a proposal to finish and also to manage the Mountain Rise Crematorium. This was in March. So we got a response from them that we'll meet with them on the 3rd of April at the mayor's chambers. When the time came, nobody turned up. They said that persons that were involved are not available, so they rescheduled. We sent them a second reminder to say when is the rescheduled meeting going to be, and up to now, we haven't received any response after sending them quite a few reminders that we need to meet with them to sort out these issues. And we haven't received any positive reply from the municipality.
Now, I've reported on, and I know that you guys have seen that. It was said that when the revamp and the maintenance work took place at the crematorium in November last year, it was said that there wouldn't be any major issues or problems, and cremations could be carried out with any issues. But since then, as you know, we did have issues. And how does the MHS feel about these issues and the fact that they affect people who are saying goodbye to their loved ones? And it was a promise that was made, but it hasn't been kept.
To answer you, Shanae, the emotional distress that our people go through, it is unbelievable. When a family goes through a death in the family, the emotional distress, the uncertainty, the insecurity of the family, providing counseling to certain members of the family who cannot cope with the death. Sometimes it involves financial assistance as well. These families are really poor. And we at Midlands Hindu Society as well have formed a subcommittee in which Prega and other members have assisted in doing free funerals for members of our community that cannot afford laying their loved ones to rest.
And also, the crematorium is not only meant for our Hindus, it's for all races, all religions, irrespective. And being Marisburg, as I said earlier on, that it's quite a large place. And to have one crematorium and to find out that sometimes one crem is working and the other two is not working, it puts a burden on the families to take the body to another place to have it cremated financially. And it's very difficult.
And with these difficulties, what would you like to see happen at the Sanduzi crematorium? Because, over the years, there's been multiple organizations like yourself trying to get assistance. Currently, we do not know that there's also a case that's also ongoing. But what improvements that are there that you would like to see, even if there's just one improvement?
Okay, from my background, initially CREM 2 was initially run by Inner Organization those days. I think in the early 1992 or 93, it was handed back to the municipality, being a democratic elected non-racial party council. So we thought they would be able to run it better. But it's gone from bad to worse. And we at Midlands Hindu Society, we've been told that we are able to run the CREM 2 at no profit. And also to do cremations for indigent families that are really battling. So we ask the municipality to give it back to us, give it back to the community to run it. We have the capabilities of running it, and we've got the people who can run the crematorium and look after it. We need people with experience and expertise in that field, so they know what's happening. No use having a body being cremated and a person living there and the body is being cremated, no one is there. So we need people that knows what's happening and how to run a crematorium.
What is also of grave concern is, as I mentioned, CREM 1, that is not a proper cremation machine as such. It is an incinerator that is installed there. So at CREM 2, we have two cremators that have been installed there. And those were many, many years ago, were installed as new machines as such. And those finally broke down. And the council at that time undertook to do the repairs to both those machines, but none has been done to date. At the bottom creme one, we are still using gas bottles as such. And we advise the council as such to install a gas tank, which the gas suppliers or retailers in Peter Marisburg can install a large tank in which at the moment we're still using 19 kg bottles, I think, as such. And these
48
run
kgs.
out from time to time.
Just an idea for our readers, how many kgs of gas does it take to...
Those are
conduct
48
a crema-
kg, the big ones.
For the big,
Yeah, the 48 kg.
Is that
So
just
I'm
for
not
one
sure how
cremation?
many, yeah.
I'm not quite sure as to what the big cylinders hold as such.
Yeah.
But at Creme 2, we have a large gas tank as well there. I think they were in the process of cleaning it and getting it restored to functionality. But when at Creme 1, we can only do one cremation every 4 hours.
Yeah, and that does affect, how many I think can also be completed per day.
Per day as such.
So what support or improvements would you like to see from the authorities to solve these issues? Like I know you said that the MHS is willing to, take over and do work at the crematorium, but obviously there is support that is needed, and it cannot be done alone.
Correct.
So, what support would you like from the municipality?
First and foremost, the municipality has to increase its capacity to make sure that these machines are functional. So they have to increase the capacity as such. And secondly, the cultural sensitivity with regard to the various cultures that use the crematorium. Besides Hindus, there are many other communities that also use the facilities at the crematorium. Secondly, there should be proper management at that site. Being transparent into the scheduling and the timing and making sure these machines are maintained, serviced, and that we have the proper staff there, proper qualified, trained staff who know how to use these machines and operate them daily. They also need to be sensitized
Trained,
on how different cultures do their rites as such at the crematorium.
Yeah, as I say, we need assistance from regarding the proper training of people that are cremating the bodies, so they know how to use the machines and to maintain them. The most important is to maintain. If you don't maintain those machines, like every month or something, you're burning quite a few bodies. It has to be maintained and cleaned out. It doesn't pack up. It doesn't break. So we need people that's qualified and or trained to aspect regarding those machines.
That is true. Yes. No, that is true. And in terms of the wider community, both Hindu, non-Hindu, how do they stand in support of the organizations that are calling for the crematorium to be handed over so that they can assist best and allow for the community to receive the best services possible?
Beside everything that you have mentioned as well as such, the community itself are very supportive of what Midlands Hindu Society is doing. And they are aware of what is done from the start till today. We have accomplished a lot as well. But there are various other services that we require from them. Emotional support for the community members. Then as well as creating some kind of fund where we can donate or assist the families at the time of their bereavement as such. Then we would like to form a volunteer group who can go and assist these community members at the time of the death in their family. That's all. There are various community elements that do come on board and has also supported Midlands Hindu Society in taking over this facility and running it by themselves. But what the council has suggested that they cannot automatically hand over something. They mentioned Section 78, is it?
78.
Section 78 under the Act, where they have to go under a tender process and give it out on tender. But this has not taken place as yet. We don't know what's the hold up. And as Prega had mentioned earlier on, we are still waiting for feedback from them.
You say that was in March this year, am I correct?
Yeah, in
Craig?
March that we sent him a letter request for a meeting and the proposal to finish and to manage the maintenance of the crematorium. And also we mentioned that we will run it at a service, a non-profit, where we don't make anything out of it. And also we'll do funerals or cremations for indigent at free, at no cost. And we are, as I said earlier on, members of the public are on board. They are prepared to assist Midlands Hindu Society in running the crematorium. When it comes to running, I don't think we'll have an issue. We've got about 20 some organizations affiliated to the Midlands. They all are prepared to assist in running of the crematorium.
Yes, and I'm sure you all have the best interests of the community at heart. And as we wrap up, what message would you like to leave for our listeners about the importance of dignity and respect in the cremation process?
Okay, in my belief, we believe that, especially Hindus, when a person that dies, the soul leaves the body. The soul is not attached to the body. So we believe within 24 hours we have to cremate a body. And when you burn a body, fire destroys evil, destroys the body. So the soul can't get back to the body. So for it to attain moksha, it has to go on. And the best way is that to cremation. Cremation helps in the soul seeking moksha.
I'd like to emphasize that the dignity and respect are essential throughout the cremation process. It is crucial to approach this sensitive time with compassion, empathy, and understanding. By doing so, we can create a meaningful and healing experience for those grieving. To our listeners, we encourage you to approach this difficult time with care and to seek guidance from professionals who share your values and commitments to the dignity and respect. And may you find comfort and peace during this challenging time. A message to the municipality is that the lack of crematoria services in Pietermaritzburg is a violation of human rights to the practice of our religious beliefs in performing our last rites to our loved ones. So it's something very, very serious and very crucial to the community in our area. Thank you.
Thank you both for joining us and for speaking on behalf of community members and being their voice during as they ask for better services at the crematorium. How long, in terms of years, how long can I say that the MHS has been involved in the crematorium?
As I said, from 2012 it started
Okay.
when we formed this committee, and it was in conjunction with the municipality, senior management from community services and senior management from the municipality.
So the MHS has been involved with work at the crematorium for the last 13, 14 years. What can you tell us about the journey from the time you have started till now, and what are some of the contributions the MHS has made towards the improvement of the crematorium?
In 2012, when this committee was elected at Aryan Hall, together with members of the Msinduzi Rates Forum, we actually formed a joint committee with council members from community services, and we identified the key areas that needed to be repaired in order for services to be delivered to the community as such. And some of them were, first of all, repairing the incinerators and the cremators, both at Crem 1 and Crem 2. Secondly, the extractor fans were installed. The prayer room was repaired. The interior fencing was installed. We also installed security fencing at the entrance and exit at both places, because we felt that the area was totally not guarded itself. There were no ablution facilities at the facility itself, none whatsoever. We managed to get that as a key point to be attended to. That was done. The area where the hearse had to park, it used to park out in the rain, where people used to carry the coffin and walk to the area. We had installed a canopy area where that area became covered. A new prayer place was also installed at Crem 2, where the last rites of the Tamil community could be performed outside as well. Wash basins were installed at the cremator number 2. So these were some of the issues that we worked together with the municipality, and was going well until people were changed or new management came into place, and then the meetings never happened, and that's how the deterioration of the facility has got to where it is today. No maintenance and no care of the both facilities whatsoever.
Would you say that it would even be welcomed that if they started having these meetings again with the organizations to bring about more changes, like how you've already worked and completed previously?
Yeah, as communication is the best. If there's no communication, then this fall apart. So every month there's meetings, and we know where we're standing and what's going to be done, and we can air our grievances, what's being done and what's not being done.
This is so important, as what Prega has just mentioned, that communication and that assistance, that we can work together and identify with the municipality that these areas are of serious concern, and we can help and assist to get it going.
Thank you.